Hi, my name is Ken Nishikawa. I'm going to give my presentation for the conference. The title is Management by Human Excellence that makes the impossible possible. Okay, let's move on the slides. This is a executive summary of this case study. What's wrong and what the answer, and the lessons from this case study, what the limitation of this case studies. And okay, let's move on to the case study. Here's a company's name. It's a real name, Sama Construction Company Limited, which is a Japanese company. Please look at the GCON. GCON stands for General Constructor. I'm going to introduce the reason why I use GCON. So in Japan, most Japanese say that GENCON and the GENCON stands for General Constructor. But if I use these words in this presentation, you can understand what does it mean. So because internet dictionary doesn't care of Japanese jargon because it's a Japanese English, it's not global English, and that's the reason why I use GCON. Stands for General Construct. Okay, let's move on. Let's back to the case study. And the company working in the construction area, and so company is standing in Osaka and started in 1947. The case study focuses on the organizational change from the Japanese bureaucratic or capitalistic management system to human-centered management system. That's the reason why I'm here. Okay, this is a timeline, and so this is a company's profile. Please look at the picture. This is a whole employees of this company. It's quite small company. 150 full-time employees working in the same company, and even 3 child care professionals in this company, because the young generation wants to work at the construction area. But if the company doesn't care of child care babysitter, so company can't get any talented young person. That's the reason why child care professionals work the company. Okay, let's move on to next slides. And this slide shows the market situation. Please look at the center of market. So number is interesting. The 84 trillion market size down to 52 trillion market size. Peak almost all bubble economy early 90s. Middle 90s at 84 trillion, but now so the market shrink into 52 trillion. It's a nightmare. But the company still working, still, even I would say so company it's a thriving in the small size of the company. Okay, let's move on the journey of the CEO. CEO graduated from the graduate school at the architecture department in the Osaka University. 1992, worked at the GCON, and so moved to come to the Sama Corporation company as an executive director at the third generation from the founder of the company. It's a family business, and so promoted to CEO 2008. During that time, the CEO had a serious problem in the construction business. So then during the executive director, he said it was on the brink of edge of bankruptcy because the company sell off the all investment assets. There is no asset, no guarantee to survive in the harsh environment, harsh construction business. That's the reason why he said such things. Okay, this slide shows a framework to understand the case study case, and this is a general framework to understand what process goes on in the change process: strategic issue, technological issue, human resource issue, human process issue. All issues mixed together to create a framework to understand what goes on. And so I applied this general framework to understanding what the change process went through the process. Okay, first things I should do is the when and how change process starts. And so CEO promoted, current CEO promoted in 2008. That's the beginning of this story. And so he vowed to never use strategic management to recover, because he wants to create a new dignified company. The employee, customer, suppliers, most precious asset for the company. That's the reason why he wants to create a new dignified company. And then, so naturally, this case study shows he did it. He made it. Okay. Technological issue and structural changes in the change process. And please look at the first line of these slides. The company try to keep all information open, no exceptions, which means even the CEO should be open for all information. Yes, exactly. There is some confidential information, but if we accept the special situation, so everybody should be open for the information. Please look at the SODA system. It's a unique system to sharing the idea, comments, and information, reports. So everybody can put their idea and the information to the database, and at the same time everybody can read all information in the database. So why a small company should use such a complex system and such a database system? Because construction sites spread around the Japanese area, so from north to south, from east to south, west, so everybody is scattering all those working places. Few opportunity to share the idea, information directly. That's the reason why a company adapted database system. Okay, let's move on to the next slides. And so this is human resource management. So look at the first line. The company announced the company philosophy, developing people who create, which means company says before creating a new building, a new construction in the society, the company wants to nurture a human employee who can create, who can construct new buildings, new construction in the society, which means company seriously focus on the educating and nurturing the people as employees. It seems to be ridiculous because it seems to be school or education system. It's not about profit making a company, but the company said, the CEO said, this is the bottom line of the business in this company. Okay, what a strategic change happening in the change process? First, please look at the first line. And so corporate culture from democracy, from corporate market capitalism or bureaucratic society to democratic society. That's the whole change process. Okay, let's move on next slides. And so look at the human process. What happened in the education, schooling system in the company? As you know, so I mentioned before, the company philosophy said that developing people who create. So what does it mean? So please look at the second line of philosophy. So company philosophy says this is a existential reason for all company members, all employees. So because the philosophy asks us why we work, how we get the best decision for myself, for ourselves, for family, for my family, for the society, for Japanese society, for global society. So if we face a serious problem, not black and white decision, it's about the wisdom. It's a practical wisdom between black and white. So how we make a confidence to which one is a better the other. In that situation, we should back to basic philosophy given by the company, given by my life. That's the reason why a company focuses on the philosophy, why we work, why I work, why the company works, for what. Okay, let's move on next slides. Also, a company says a mission statement and vision statement. Probably you've heard a famous mission statement, vision statement, policy statement. It's a credo statement. So all things it's important for contemporary business. Everybody understands that things. But a company says 92 employee survey shows the corporate C-suite and top managers and CEO fully respect the company philosophy, mission, and vision statement. Oh, it's a good number. Okay, let's move on the conclusion part. So how do we understand this case study? Okay, it seems to be case study. Case study seems to be a success story, but not. I don't want to promote this case study as a success story. It's a answer for the serious problem in the small medium-sized company. Please look at this next slide. Please look at the problems. In Japan, so almost all society, entire society has a serious problem about exhausted Japanese system, which means lagged from global market progress. So probably you understand from if you come from the Asian countries and like India, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, and Indonesia, please probably understand. So Japanese system is it's getting worse and worse, and because lagged behind the global market. So even the European continent, also North American continent, is a move ahead of Japanese market. And particularly in the small medium-sized sector has a serious problem because you can see the double quotation phrases voluntary liquidation despite the profitable. It's a serious number. 24,000 company in every year liquefied because no successor, shortage of workforce. But in construction business, so almost all social infrastructure are going to be deteriorated because airport, bridges, tunnels, and highway and train system, and airports, and even buildings in the governmental institution has already began to be deteriorated. The workload is here, but the small number of company to make a business in construction sector. Okay, how the company adapt such a harsh environment, and so I'm going to introduce my conclusion, 4 conclusions from this case study. Number 1 is in Japanese management says loyalty to the company until dying. So it's a faithfulness for the company, but it's a ridiculous idea. It's a faith to meaningful work life through the fair business. It seems to be a corporation company should turn into social business, a sustainable business, not short-term, getting money, getting a profit, compete with small things. It's a ridiculous. Company should clarify the meaning of work and life through the fair business and everyday business. That's the number 1 conclusion. The second conclusion is it's not the time to sacrifice of cargo machine in the Japanese corporation. It's a time to change the employee status from old style to a mature citizen in the society. That's the reason why the company adapt company to try change their corporate culture from bureaucratic or capitalized system to democratic management system. It's all about this is our company for the future generation, future Japanese society. Okay, number 3 of my conclusion, and all the Japanese society was managed by technical elites like graduate from Tokyo University, Kyoto University, Osaka University, manage everything, but it's not good time for them. So now we think about, so everyone can grow, mature through the business and to become a leader in that society, in the company. In other words, everyone can grow through everyday business. Business is a learning place to grow or mature to become a leader in Japanese society, Japanese community, in the family, in the community. And that's a number 3 conclusion. Okay, number 4 conclusion is promotion by politics or competition. No, it's a ridiculous idea. It seems to be a ridiculous idea for some of them. So because business is a learning container for others, which means I think it's a good time to change our mindset from old style management to new management focuses on learning place. So which means everybody can transform their life and business or career for high purpose of your life, of my life, of their lives. It's not only making a profit of money to protect my family or myself. It's a transform ourselves to grow in myself, my life, my family, our families, and my community, in our community, in Japanese society, even global society. It's a transformative learning. It's needed to the business. It's a idealistic idea, but actually, so I think this company focuses on this idea. Okay, the last slide shows here is another idea, but it's close to my idea. Kiran and Lahiri, who is a professor of Harvard University, and so they said DDO, which means deliberately developing organization, consists of the age and group and the home, so all mixed together to create a deliberately developing organization. So which means so all everyday situation, everyday business, every moment in the business, in life, create a learning place to transform our lives, mindset to become a more high purpose life or in person. That's a framework to understand change process of organization or a society given by Robert Keegan and Lahiri. Okay, that's all about my presentation. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and so I hope you enjoyed my presentation. But I think it's a messy presentation, sometimes stammering stuff, and so my pronunciation is not so good. I understand, but thank you for coming to listen to my presentation. Please give me your feedback about the quality of presentation. I hope you have questions. So please send me your question, your comment to me. That's my pleasure. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing time to this presentation. Thank you.